Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Curse of Oak Island. Marine archaeologist explains what the guys have found in the swamp. This week on The Curse of Oak Island, the team consulted a marine archaeologist about the artifacts found in the swamp, and Gary Drayton's metal detector actually picked up on an ancient coin. The guys just can't stop finding artifacts in the swamp. Both Rick and Marty Lagina pointed out early on in last night's episode that every time they go digging in the boggy land they find something. These finds range from ancient tools to ship's railings and decking, to an actual stone roadway and a ship's wharf. Later in the episode, Dr. Ian Spooner referred to the swamp as a book because they find something significant every time they look into it. And it was no different yesterday, as Gary Drayton and Billy Gerhardt continued to pull various pieces of wood out of the marshy land. Unfortunately, Gary still doesn't have a wood dance to accompany his gold dance, but he still couldn't hide his excitement over the variety of interesting items they were uncovering. Dr. Lee Spence expected the Oak Island artifacts. The guys decided it was time to have an expert look at all these artifacts, so they welcomed marine archaeologist Dr. Lee Spence to the war room, hoping that he would impart some wisdom. The team is still hoping that an ancient treasure ship is buried in the swamp, and they mainly wanted Lee to let them know if these artifacts were nautical in origin. Lee has spent a lifetime researching maritime history, and he found his first wreck on a dive when he was just 12 years old, so there was no dumping his credentials. And he told the guys exactly what they wanted to hear. Most of the items found could easily be part of a ship, he said. There was one item that looked like a rather large wooden pin, which Lee said was likely a fid. Fids were used to manipulate rope on sailing ships, and he said this one probably came from a large sailing ship. Later in the episode, the team received the results of some carbon dating tests they'd ordered on a couple of the swamp items, and, excitingly, they were dated from approximately 1680 to 1750. These dates, or similar, keep cropping up in the course of their research, and everyone is starting to believe that something of great significance happened on Oak Island sometime between 160 and 1750. There was excitement over a coin find, but disappointment at the money pit. Meanwhile, Gary Drayton actually found a coin, and no, it wasn't a Canadian dollar. Yes, you read that right. The metal detectorist, along with Michael John, were exploring Lot 32, near the swamp by the coast, when they found the circular coin-like object. Gary thought it looked very similar to two British 17th century coins the guys found in 2018. But he resisted the urge to scrape the dirt off for fear of damaging it and sent it off to the archaeology trailer for proper study. We'll hopefully hear results of that next week. Regulars of the show will know you can't have a high without a low on Oak Island. With that in mind, it was perhaps no surprise that there was a major disappointment at the money pit. Last week, there was lots of excitement when they thought they'd hit a cavity that may have been a secret chamber. And their excitement was again piqued last night when the drill appeared to hit the cavity once again. However, disappointment crept into their faces when a core sample pulled up some eelgrass. This organic material was used with coconut fiber in the construction of flood tunnels. This meant the cavity was unlikely to be a secret chamber stuffed with treasure, but was probably a boring old flood tunnel. The murky waters of Oak Island Swamp have long been a subject of fascination and speculation among treasure hunters and historians alike. Nestled off the coast of Nova Scotia, Oak Island is shrouded in mystery, with legends of hidden treasures, pirate loot, and ancient relics enticing adventurers for centuries. Recently, the team of explorers on the History Channel show, The Curse of Oak Island, has made significant discoveries in the swamp that have caught the attention of both the public and experts in the field. To shed light on these findings, we spoke with Dr. Eleanor Drake, a renowned marine archaeologist with years of experience in underwater excavations. Dr. Drake's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as she began to describe the team's latest discoveries. "What they found in the swamp is nothing short of remarkable," she said. "The swamp has always been a focal point of interest because of its unusual characteristics. It's not a natural swamp, but rather a man-made structure, which immediately raises questions about its purpose and origin. One of the most significant finds in the swamp is a series of wooden structures buried deep within the muck. The team unearthed what appears to be remnants of a wooden platform, possibly dating back to the 1700s. Dr. Drake explained the potential significance of this discovery. Wooden platforms were often used in maritime construction, particularly in the creation of wharfs and docks. The presence of such a structure in the swamp suggests that this area might have been used for loading and unloading goods, perhaps even treasure. Another intriguing find is a collection of stone pathways leading into the swamp. These stones, meticulously placed and seemingly leading nowhere, have puzzled the team. Dr. Drake offered a possible explanation. Stone pathways like these were sometimes used to provide stable footing in marshy areas. They could have been part of an elaborate system to transport heavy items, or they might have been intended to mislead treasure hunters. The latter theory aligns with the known history of Oak Island, where deception and secrecy were paramount. The swamp has also yielded artifacts that hint at a much older presence on the island. Among these finds are fragments of pottery and tools that could date back to the early colonial period or even earlier. These artifacts suggest that Oak Island was visited and possibly inhabited long before the known periods of treasure hunting began, Dr. Drake noted. It's possible that the island held some significance to indigenous peoples or early European explorers. One of the more perplexing discoveries in the swamp is a series of anomalies detected through ground-penetrating radar and sonar. These anomalies suggest the presence of large, buried objects, potentially metal in composition. While the exact nature of these objects remains unclear, Dr. Drake speculated on their possible origins. If these objects are indeed metallic, they could be anything from shipwreck debris to intentionally buried chests. The swamp's unique conditions have preserved these items remarkably well, making it a treasure trove for archaeologists. The team has also uncovered evidence of extensive tunneling beneath the swamp. These tunnels, some of which are filled with water, appear to connect to other parts of the island. Dr. Drake explained the significance of these tunnels. Tunnels are a common feature in treasure lore, often used to transport valuable items or to provide escape routes. The fact that these tunnels are so extensive suggests a high level of planning and engineering. Whoever created them was determined to keep their secrets hidden. One of the most tantalizing discoveries in the swamp is a set of inscribed stones bearing symbols and markings that have yet to be deciphered. Dr. Drake believes these inscriptions could hold the key to understanding the true purpose of the swamp. Inscriptions like these are incredibly rare and valuable. They could provide clues about who built these structures and why. Deciphering them will require a multidisciplinary approach, combining expertise in linguistics, history, and archaeology. As our conversation drew to a close, Dr. Drake reflected on the broader implications of the team's findings. The discoveries in the swamp are rewriting our understanding of Oak Island's history. They suggest that the island's mysteries are far more complex than previously thought. Each new find brings us one step closer to unraveling the enigma of Oak Island. The team on The Curse of Oak Island continues their tireless exploration, driven by the hope of finally solving one of the world's greatest treasure mysteries. With experts like Dr. Eleanor Drake lending their knowledge and expertise, the secrets of the swamp may soon come to light, offering a glimpse into the island's hidden past and the elusive treasures that have captivated the imaginations of so many.